Welcome to the rocket scientists that review old LEGO classic space sets from the time period 1978 to 1987. Today we will review the LEGO set 6872 Lunar Patrol Craft. The set was released in 1985. It holds 67 bricks. It came with one yellow astronaut, as seen here, and in addition a small robot. Dimensions: the length of the craft is measured to be 180 millimeters or 7.1 inches. The wingspan from wingtip to wingtip was measured to be 142 millimeters or 6 inches. The height of the craft, the top part, is measured to be 68 millimeters or 2.7 inch. The weight of the craft without the minifigure was measured to be 59 grams, which equals to 2.1 ounces. The design. Yeah, the design is quite colorful. You have blue on wing structures and airframe, belly sections, and part of the rear section here, engine section, is in gray, and you have these trans yellow antenna pieces with trans red parabolas on front. You have this very big wedge-shaped canopy in trans yellow color, and also some trans yellow cone bricks on the wingtips, and in addition a pair of red trans colored antennas, which are secured very well here with these bricks, so they doesn't come loose too easily. So that's great. And you have also two rubber hoses, which was kind of typical for the time period of mid-80s. In several sets you will find on vehicles and spacecraft that they have these rubber hoses included. A pair of clusters of reaction jets of the type we have seen many times before. So this would provide propulsion in forward direction, reverse direction, and yawing motion. The main rocket engine seems to be back here on the top part of the craft, with this tail can section of a rocket with fins, and I guess for stabilizing the craft, because you have wings again, as in many of the classic space sets you have wing structures. So this is for atmospheric maneuvering. You have also a pair of doors on each side here that you can open, and this is most likely a small cargo compartment. You see a tile brick here in gray, so it's a smooth surface in there. So the door stops thanks to this brick. But I must say, it's a little odd that you have to open it in this direction and it stops like there. So it's kind of makes the passage in here a little restricted, which I don't like. And when you push the door in, you will see that you can push it further down all the way in like that, quite easily actually, which I think is bad. This is not a good design. So there should be a stop when at this closed position. So this is something I don't like. I don't understand why they have the door hinged in this direction. You could also kind of imagine this could be air brakes, like this. So now you are braking in atmospheric conditions, maybe. Then it's more logical to have it in that direction. Underneath you see a pair of plates that you can open up like this, all the way to this position. Why have they done it like this? I don't know. You of course increase the lifting surface of the wing by doing it in this way, but then you expose the astronaut here. You can look directly in there. So is this for access, or I really don't know. And if you push it partially down, you see it's lower down than the bottom side of the craft. So is it part of the landing leg? I don't think so. So maybe this has something to do with the wing surface. The canopy can open like this, which is really nice. But you have no steering wheel here. You have just this small 2-stud brick or tile with a little display and 4 buttons. That's all. A little disappointing. You have also a pair of claws here for it's a design thing, but the purpose don't really know. And one of the biggest things that disappoint me with this craft is the lack of undercarriage. You have nothing. You just land on the belly like that, and it can wobble a little back and forth in this position. This is something I think is very, very dumb. It doesn't look smart. Why did they leave the undercarriage which they had on the LL 918 craft, 924 craft, for example? They had undercarriage and they looked more realistic, or they looked more correct. And another disappointing thing is that you don't see any Lego Classic Space logo on the craft, other than on the guy himself, but no Classic Space Legos logo. Nothing at all. Why? Why did they leave that? Also included in the set is this droid or robot. It's a cute little thing, and he can bend his hips like that, and he has 2 arms that can move, and he has these antennas pieces on his head, and of course he can turn his head. So nice for playability. So all in all, I think there are several important things missing, and therefore I will just give this a score of 3. Playability. Yeah, you have a robot in the kit. You have a craft that is fairly easy to hold and play with. No problem with that. You have the canopy here. You have this part of the wing structure or airframe structure that can be extended like this. Again, a disappointing thing with this is the doors here, how they are hinged. So I think in respect to playability, I would give this as a score of 4. Nostalgic Force. Well, I don't remember this craft at all. I never had it, of course. So to me, it's just a score of 1. So in respect to toy score, we are up to only 8 for this set. In respect to rocket scientist realism, is this something that we could build and use? No, there's no landing legs here. That's no-go. You never land on the belly structure or airframe structure. You never do that. That's the first thing. And of course, if you want to take off, you need propulsion. Where is that? Where is the room for the engines below here? There's nothing. So you don't land on the belly, you don't land on your engines, never. You never expose the astronaut like this. And these things is just I could imagine to increase the wing surface to provide extra lift, but you would normally not do it like that. And if you look at the reaction jet here, this will collide with the wing structure here, which is bad. And in order to provide full attitude control, then I'm talking about pitch control, which this craft is lacking, and yaw control, which it has, forward movement and backward movement, which it has, rolling movement, which is lack. This is not sufficient. You normally don't want to have hoses like this to be exposed in the airstream like this. In space it doesn't matter that much, but in aerodynamic flights this is bad. This would start to oscillate a lot and break off. The way too little volume here for propellant storage, so this craft is too little. If this were built, this would have extremely short range. So in respect to engineering score, I decided to give this a score of 2, which then in total for this set from my side it's a score of 10. So it's, I think, one of the lowest, if not the lowest one that I have reviewed so far. I have the instructions. Here we have the instructions in very good shape. Start assembling the yellow spaceman and his droid. Then you start building the craft. You have this special piece which forms the seating and underside of the craft, and you extend on that, and at step 4 you're including the wings and more of the structures and the first hinge for the wing surfaces. And step 7 there you have the instrument clusters and reaction control system, and more of the rear structure where the cargo location is. And then you have the canopy, which is a nice piece, very typical for the time era. They came later in blue and even green color. Not for this craft of course, but for other sets. There we have the engines, and at step 12 you have to install the wing plates, or what I should call them, on each side. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and if you have any comments, please do not hesitate to provide them. And if you like my reviews, please consider subscribing to my channel as well. Bye for now.